Matt James season premiere episode aired this week, and we have so much to talk about. We got Vibrators, Go Hooves, and a real life queen. But before we get to our surprise contestants, this is your Bach Recap. First we meet Matt, and I don't know about you guys, but I only knew him as Tyler Cameron's best friend and that they lived together. I had no idea what to expect, but watching him and the woman throughout the episode, he kind of won me over. He gets to the Nemacolin Resort in an airplane and then drives to the mansion he's staying at in a fancy car and then meets Chris Harrison at the chateau to meet the contestants that looks like the freaking White House. I mean, what an upgrade compared to Tayshia's season. I can only imagine her face after seeing Matt's setup. Honestly, before we talk about the ladies and get further into the episode, we have to talk about Matt's story. He talks to his mom, and the first thing she asked him was, when was the last time you were vulnerable? And you can see here that Matt's never let anyone into his heart, and he talks about being raised by only his mother when his parents split and how it affected him never really seeing a loving relationship, which I can understand. He seems ready to put his heart out there, and that's when he won me over, because I feel like previous leads think that they know what love is and it just makes these quick and impulsive decisions, and they are all breaking up at this point. I just don't want to watch another season that ends in another breakup, so Matt gives me hope here. So fast forward to the mansion where Matt meets Chris Harrison. He looks so nervous here. I don't think I've ever seen the lead ever be so nervous before. He actually asks Chris if they can go talk before they start, and that's when things get a little bit more real. He starts telling Chris that he's nervous and that he doesn't want to disappoint people, and Chris just looks confused. And so I don't know if this was a scripted and planned conversation or if this was just Matt trying to talk out his feelings before they started.
Another thing I wanted to talk to you about was pressure that I had put on myself just being the first Black Bachelor. So my mom is white, my dad's Black, and I experienced what it was like to be a product of an interracial marriage. And it's tough because you've got people who have certain views, old school views, on what a relationship and what love looks like. That's something that kept me up at night. It's like, I don't want to piss off Black people. I don't want to piss off white people, but I'm both of those, you know what I mean? It's like, how do I please everybody?
So what did you guys think about this conversation? I felt like his concerns about possibly getting backlash from his fans was pretty legitimate, and I just hope that people just let him love who he wants to love, or that he even finds love. Okay, now we have to talk about the ladies. We met 32 women, which is a lot. So I'm only going to talk about my favorite girls so far, but honestly, I don't even know how they narrowed it down to this small of a group of women when over 6,500 girls applied. Matt had so many contestants to remember. We had so many people to remember, but thankfully there was a lot of interesting entrances this season. The first woman to step out of the limo was Brie, and she looked so stunning in this green silk dress. Her intro wasn't really anything special. She basically just said that she's there for him and the opportunity to get to know him, which I mean, they all are, but she kind of won me over later when she talks to Matt. Next is Rachel, and the second I saw her, I thought she looked like Rebecca Black. She had a similar intro to Brie and just said that he's the reason she's there and she's happy that they are doing this for the first time together. I don't know, but something about her felt so genuine to me. And next up is Sarah, and Sarah's intro was pretty cute. She said that she's grateful to be there, but she's gonna feel homesick, and she just hopes that home will feel like it's with her. I wasn't really impressed with these intros, but I feel like I can't judge them off of not having a crazy entrance because they just look so genuinely happy to be there. Chelsea arrives and she is killing it in her black dress. She tells Matt that he's making history as the first Black Bachelor, and hopefully they can make history together. This was cute, but I feel like Matt is trying not to make this about race, even though he is the first Black Bachelor. He just wants to make it more about love and his journey in finding it. Next is Madi, who I'm honestly only obsessed with because she's Puerto Rican like I am, but she actually had a cute intro line.
They say that love makes the world go round, and even though we can't travel the world right now, I'm looking forward to this journey with you and seeing where in the world we end up together.
She was cute. Kristen is an attorney, so of course she had to say some corny lawyer joke and say that he's guilty for being incredibly fine. I honestly couldn't even imagine saying this out loud, but she killed it. Next is Anna, and I think she's the most bubbly out of all the women. She brought him a Bachelor survival kit that had stress balls and little mini red flags that you put in the girl's hair. I thought it was really clever, but she acts like she drank 20 cups of coffee. Then we have Kayla, and she drives up in a pickup truck. Matt was super impressed with this intro. You could really tell that he was all googly eyes about this. This next contestant is Serena. I honestly couldn't tell if she purposely did this or if it just happened, but she trips up the stairs and jokes that she only met him for 5 seconds and she's already tripping all over him, and I just thought this was so cute. So for the first time, I'm sure, we have double Serena. So meet Serena P. She shows up with a step stool and she's stepping on it, saying that she hopes that she can get on his level. Sine was so cute and brought goat shoes.
I think you're the greatest of all time.
Thank you.
And I hope you'll also think that I'm the goat.
Kaylee is the lingerie girl that we've been seeing in all of the previews for Matt James' season, which was such a bold move. She rolls up the driveway with the rack of dresses and asks him to pick one. I was honestly hoping that he would choose the other dress, so I don't know about his taste, but the third limo arrives and Abigail comes out and opens up about being deaf.
So there's something a little bit different about me, and that is I'm deaf. So I'm gonna be reading your lips a lot tonight.
Okay.
But thankfully you have really beautiful lips, so I'm not complaining.
I freaking love her, and I hope she makes it far. A pizza car arrives at the chateau, and MJ pops out, and she has the cheesiest intro.
I know this is cheesy, but the fastest way to a man's heart is through their stomach, so.
Next up is Katie, and I honestly could not believe they let her do this.
You know, this pandemic was really hard for me, and this just really got me through a lot. And I was hoping to pass the torch to you. But after seeing how you look and knowing that the fantasy suite is so far away, I actually gonna need it just for like a little bit longer.
It was really funny seeing how uncomfortable Matt got seeing it around. Then comes my favorite entrance yet, Ileana. She literally asked him if she can put her balls in his mouth, and he's confused, I'm confused, and then she pulls a meatball out of her purse and makes him try it. I don't know if that was just clever or if that was just weird, but how long has that meatball been sitting in her purse? I would like to know. I was excited to see this next girl because I heard so much about her on social media. Kit Keenan, or KIT for Keep in Touch, is the fashion designer Cynthia Rowley's daughter. And I feel like her banner should have said New York City socialite instead of fashion entrepreneur. She came to the mansion in a Bentley because her limo was giving her rideshare vibes. What? She's gonna be interesting to watch throughout the season, I can already tell. Next up is Alana, and she stole a kiss from Matt.
You're gonna take this end, and I'm gonna take this end.
I feel like people can argue that this was too quick to do, but I thought it was lighthearted and he took it well. It was a really bold move, and she sealed the first kiss. The most over-the-top entrance award goes to Queen Victoria. Victoria's occupation is queen, and she did not let Matt or the other girls forget it.
Queen Victoria's here.
You good?
I'm good.
Okay, what are your thoughts on these ladies? Because they all look like beauty pageant queens. Where are my Alabama Hannahs, JoJo Fletchers, the girl next door this season? Also, all of these girls have a following on social media. I don't remember the contestants being popular before the show started unless they were a pageant girl or a model, so I'm just wondering what type of woman the producers are really picking here. But Matt comes back into the chateau, and you can tell he was so nervous, so he asked the women to bow their heads down and pray. This was the first time this has ever been done before in Bachelor franchise. It seemed like the women really liked this. Rachel even started to cry. But now, this is the 4th time in a row that religion has been an important part in each lead season. Like, of course, if religion is important to lead, it should be expressed. But do they vet contestants out based on religion too? Because if not, then what happened between Tayshia and Ivan would continue to happen again. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Comment below. So they're now all in the chateau, and the girls are losing their minds, hoping that they can get any time with Matt. Matt talks to Kristen about how he feels being the first Black Bachelor and how he feels just a load of responsibility and just wants to represent who he is and how he was raised, because his experience is not the same as everyone else's. And I think it was really important for Matt to keep reiterating this, because I think people are expecting Matt to be and act a certain way, but he was raised differently and is a product of an interracial couple. So I think he's just trying to set the tone early on that and just Follow his heart wherever that leads. Next is Rachel. I don't know why, but I just feel like by her crying during their cocktail prayer that she really makes it far. She tells him how hard it's been for her to be vulnerable and how much that prayer meant to her. And I don't know. For some reason, I just have a feeling that he really falls for her. Serena decided to play chess with him during their time, and this brought two things to my attention. One, how was she able to set this game up when half the house is complaining that they haven't gotten any time with him? And two, Matt's not really good at chess. Then Puerto Rican Marty steals him away and gives Matt a boarding pass to her heart and talks about the impact Hurricane Maria had on her and her family. But then she was tapped on the shoulder with a vibrator that we don't exactly know if it was used or new, but we're gonna assume it's new. And she was not happy about it. But it's funny because Katie kept talking about how she thinks Matt loves MJ the vibrator, but he looks so uncomfy. Kayla plans a really cute moment with Matt by having drinks in the back of the pickup truck that she came in. I love that she's trying to show him how much of a North Carolina girl that she is. Kit cracks me up. She brings Matt a snow globe of New York City, and she was interrupted by Queen Victoria.
Excuse me, princess, but the queen is here. Okay.
I just don't know why she didn't tell her to wait. Where is your New York attitude, Kit? So Victoria is playing queen for the day, and she asks him how he's doing, and he tells her it's like drinking through a fire hose, which, in her defense, I've never heard of this, and apparently neither has she.
Yeah,
But-
but I'm like the best fire hose, so I'll make a good drink for you.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah, Victoria is not the brightest diamond in the crown. This queen pissed off Princess Kit, and Victoria literally tells everyone to literally get off the royal hiney and literally talk to Matt.
Literally, just go. Like, literally, why are you waiting? If I say literally again, you have to go. Literally.
I don't understand why they don't just get up and go. How do you go through all of this just for a show to just sit there? Well, my girl Bree took her shot, and they really do have a lot of similarities. Someone who's lived a completely different life than Matt grabs him and shares her story on what it's like to be deaf.
So I was super lucky. So both my sister and I are deaf. So she's a year and a half older. And so she kind of like paved the way. So I just kind of like followed in her footsteps.
Oh, this was super special, and you could tell the whole time how much Matt wanted to kiss her. Until they did. And that's it. After he finished talking to Abigail, he decided who got the first impression rose, and that was Abigail. But I couldn't have guessed that though. She was literally the only one he kissed. Well, intentionally. It's time for the rose ceremony, and girls are worried. These girls took 1 million COVID tests, quarantined for 2 weeks, and traveled all the way there, packed all their belongings, left their families, left their jobs. But Maddie has to make a few cuts. So he eliminated Alicia, Amani, Sine, Amber, Corinne, Caroline, Cassandra, and Kimberly. What a freaking episode, and it just looks like it gets better from here. The season preview shows Hannah Martin from Colton's season showing up, and I don't know what I've been missing this whole entire quarantine, but what is she doing here? And there's just tears and more tears and tears and more tears, and we don't know Matt yet, so this season is completely unpredictable. Who is he gonna pick? Follow the Bachelor Recap on Instagram to see my prediction on who I think is gonna be Mrs. James.